Can the Miami Heat go on a long playoff run, or will they get sent home in the first round? Listen, long gone are the days of LeBron James and Dwayne Wade leading his team to 4 straight finals appearances. This year's team, they don't have that label of being a title or bust like the Heatles did. But keep in mind, prior to this season, Erik Spoelstra has never had one season where he had 50 wins outside of having LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh on his team. And he's only had 1 year, just one season, where he went out of the first round out of his 7 years without the big three. But Erik Spoelstra has done by far his best coaching job of his career. Miami is currently in the 4th seed with a 41-24 record before the season stopped. Now the Heat, they were on pace to win 51 games, and they had 2 guys that made the All-Star team, Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. Now if you saw my series on the top 5 title contenders, you know the Miami Heat were left off that list. That's not what this video is about. I don't think they can win the title this year. But I do have to put some respect on their name and their style of play. Listen, any dark horse team, a team that's not expected to win, but has the potential to shock the world, they have to be special in at least one facet of the game, one area that stands out above the rest of the competition. For the Miami Heat, that's their outside shooting. The league average from 3 is 35.7% from downtown. And the Miami Heat, they have an insane 8 guys in their rotation to shoot above league average from downtown. So in this journey, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the guys that I think could be the X factors for the Miami Heat. Also, we're going to look at some potential first round and second round matchups the Miami Heat could face, and we're going to break those down. But make sure you stick around to the end of this video, as I'll be giving you my prediction on the Miami Heat's 2020 outlook. Let's get it.
Are you ready?
Welcome back to Journey of a Ballaholic, the best talk show for basketball addicts. I'm your host, General Hannibal X. Now, if you're new on this channel, you're going to be getting my passionate and in-depth analysis on the hottest NBA and college basketball topics. Listen, I'm a ballaholic, absolutely addicted to basketball. And like everyone, I have my own opinion. But if you like opinions that are backed by facts, go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. But also, be sure to tap that bell notification so that you'll be updated whenever I drop new videos, which is on Monday and Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You got to give Pat Riley his credit, man, for putting this team together. He brought in a bona fide all-star like Jimmy Butler. Now, even though Butler's going to turn 31 in September, he's had one of his best seasons in the league. He's averaging a career-high 6.6 rebounds and 6.1 assists per game. But it's Bam Adebayo. He's the one. He's the guy that is truly giving this Heat team a new edge. Now, Jimmy Butler, he brings the toughness on the perimeter that we all know. But it's Bam that backs it up on the inside. In just his 3rd year, Bam has seen his playing time increase, and his stats have jumped right along with his playing time. Now, the first-time All-Star, he's in the running for Most Improved Player this year, as he's been putting up 16 points, 10.5 rebounds, 5 assists, and giving you over 1 steal in a block a game. Bam gives the Heat that versatile big, a guy that can rebound the ball off the glass and also has no issue taking it up the court to start the offense. Bam has already had 3 triple-doubles this season already. Then you have a guy that, like I said before the season started, who was on my top under-the-radar players, Kendrick Nunn. Listen, through the first 3 months of the season, Kendrick won Rookie of the Month each month for the Eastern Conference. His ability to get his own shot off the bounce, that's exactly what the Miami Heat need. It's been crucial for them. And then you got players that are just absolute snipers. And listen, I'm talking about these boys can shoot. Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero, man, they shoot the lights out. Robinson is 3rd in the NBA in made threes, and he's 4th in the league in 3-point percentage. And don't forget about Hero. He's had 8 games this season where he's hit 4 or more threes, and he's just a rookie. Now, of course, I can't leave out the 2020 dunk champion, Derrick Jones Jr. That man is a highlight reel. Listen, man, to say that this team is deep, man, that's an understatement. They got 7 guys that are averaging double figures. 7. And the roster construction, it complements itself so perfectly. As I said, the Miami Heat, they're the best 3-point shooting team in the NBA. But what makes them unique is that it's not just their perimeter players that are lethal shooters. They got big men Kelly Olynyk and Myers Leonard. Now, these 2 right here, they add a dimension to this team that truly suits their best players. Now, Jimmy Butler, as we know, he's an elite 2-way player, but he's having his worst 3-point shooting season of his career since his rookie season. Now, you add in that Bam has yet to develop a consistent outside shot, and when you have bigs like Myers Leonard, who starts alongside of Adebayo, who's shooting a hair under 43% from deep, along with Olynyk off the bench, who's shooting a career-high 43% from deep, and the Miami Heat have 2 7-footers that can stretch the defensive out. Now, what that does, it allows a guy like Kendrick Nunn the space so he can penetrate. It allows Jimmy Butler the space for him to dominate on the inside. And then you also got Bam Adebayo, who can go down low on that block and just absolutely abuse defenders. Not many teams have a championship level coach like Erik Spoelstra. And then the Heat with Pat Riley, well, his resume speaks for itself. But once again, he's put together a remarkable team. A team that's scrappy and a team that's elite. They got the number 7 rated offense in the entire NBA. But if the Heat are going to make a deep playoff run, I think that the two guys coming off the bench, they're going to be the biggest X factors. First is Goran Dragic. Listen, as much as I love Kendrick Nunn, he's a rookie. And a rookie who's going to be tasked with playing the toughest position in basketball, which is point guard. Now, having a vet like Goran backing Nunn up, that's major, man. Listen, Dragic leads the Heat in assist percentage at 28.6%. Now, what that does is it shows the percentage of a teammate's shots that he assists on while he's on the court. He's also the 3rd leading scorer behind the Heat's all-star duo. But the number 1 X factor for this Heat's team, this year, the guy that can truly take them from being a first-round exit to a dark horse team that can make a deep run, that's Andre Iguodala. Now listen, he's coming off playing 5 straight NBA Finals. He's the only guy on this roster that's ever made it past the conference finals. Experience matters in this league. Iggy's averaging 7 points, 3.8 rebounds, and 3.2 assists over the last 5 years during the regular season. But when the playoffs come, those averages jump up to 9 points, 4.4 rebounds, and 3.5 assists. Now, I know you think Iggy's washed. I get that. But just keep in mind that the last playoff game that Iguodala was in, Game 6 of the NBA Finals, just last year, going toe-to-toe with the Finals MVP Kawhi Leonard, Iguodala put up 22 points on 9 for 15 from the field, and he hit 3 for 6 from downtown. Now, he did that while holding Kawhi Leonard to the same 22 points on just 7 for 16 from the field. Listen, don't expect Iggy to all of a sudden become something that he isn't. But I can guarantee you this. If Miami makes it out of the first round, possibly to the conference finals, there's definitely going to be a couple Iguodala games. Playing in this Orlando bubble, where there's no home crowd cheering you on, teams are going to have to rely on their stars and their vets more than ever. See, young players and role players, they typically play better at home, in their own arena. And that's been one of the biggest problems for this Miami Heat all season. Miami has an insane home and road split. You talk about a team that could really suffer in this bubble, not playing in the comforts of their home court, not having the chance to play in front of their own fans. Miami had a 27-5 home record, which was 3rd best in the entire NBA. But their road record, sheesh, man, that thing was ugly. 14-19 on the road this season. That's not going to get it done. So the question is, how's playing in this bubble, how's it going to affect teams that are great at home, yet bad on the road? I think it's going to truly depend on the matchup. Now, right now, as the standings set, Miami is slotted to play the Indiana Pacers in round 1. Now, if they meet the Pacers, I'm going with the Heat in 6, man. But what if they have to face the 76ers, who are right there and possibly could be in that 4-5 matchup? A team that they beat 3-1 during the regular season. If they got to play them in a 7-game series, a matchup between 2 terrible road teams, yet 2 really great home squads, I think this is less about the role players and more about the stars. Bam versus Embiid in a first-round matchup, that's just a bad individual matchup for Bam. In the 4 games versus Embiid, though Bam's scoring remained on a season average of 16, his rebounding dropped significantly to just 6 a game. Now that was the lowest against any team he played against this season. Now compare that to Embiid's numbers against Miami Heat. That went up from his season average of 23 points and almost 12 rebounds to over 27 points and over 13 rebounds. Listen, when he's going up against Bam, he absolutely dominated. Now, once again, I understand that the Miami Heat, they won the season series 3-1. But as we know, the Sixers' home and road split was even worse than the Miami Heat this season. So when you put these two teams on a neutral court, I think the Embiid is going to be absolutely too much for Bam, Olynyk, and the rest of the undersized Miami Heat. Now, the advantage that Miami would have is over Philadelphia as far as the offense. It's shooting, it's clutch play, and it's finishing late ability. See, a guy like Jimmy Butler, he lives for those moments. Iggy, he's made a career of making big plays late in games, specifically in the playoffs. See, I trust the Miami Heat much more than Philadelphia if it's a 2-point game. In the 4th quarter, the series is on the line. Give me the Miami Heat in that situation. Miami played 9 overtime games, the most of any team all season, and they went 8-1 during those games. Also, in games that were decided by 3 points or less, the Heat was 6-3 in those games. Other than the Lakers, the Clippers, the Bucks, the Miami Heat had the 4th highest winning percentage against teams that they faced that were 500 or better. They won 14 of those 24 games. So what does all of this mean? It means that the Miami Heat, they're battle tested. In close games, they tend to come out on top. Against elite competition, they tend to win majority of those games. See, during the regular season, your offense can win you games. But in a tough playoff battle, a lot of times it comes down to defense. The Miami Heat, they have the 14th rated defense right now. Now, though their defense is number 7 as far as opponent's field goal percentage and they're 9th in opponent's 3-point percentage, they're only 20th in the league in steals and they're only 23rd in blocks per game. And of the 9 teams that are left in the East, only the Brooklyn Nets force less turnovers than the Miami Heat do. Now, let's go back to the matchup against the Philadelphia 76ers, who's a rebounding juggernaut. The Miami Heat are second to last in the entire league in offensive rebounding. That means you take those shooters, who are all of these talented yet young players that the Miami Heat have, and you take them away from home and put them against the Philadelphia 76ers, who is close to being a top 5 defense in the entire NBA. I think what you're going to see is a lot more of those shots that those young players have been hitting all season. They're going to miss some of those. And Bam, who doesn't and won't have the advantage to be able to play bullet ball down low, especially going up against Joel Embiid, and then now that Philadelphia's put Ben Simmons at the power forward, who can now guard those stretch bigs out on the perimeter, while also being able to switch over and have to guard Jimmy Butler if he needs to in key moments, I think that's crucial. If the Miami Heat want to make it out the first round, I think they need to stay in that 4-5 matchup and face the Indiana Pacers in round 1. Then they will move on to face the Milwaukee Bucks in round 2, and I actually like the Miami Heat in that matchup. But the 2 teams they don't want to see, I think 2 teams that they would lose to if they faced them in a 7-game series, that's the Philadelphia 76ers and the Toronto Raptors. So what do you think? Can the Miami Heat make a deep playoff run, or will they get sent home in the first round? Listen, go down to the comment section below and let me know what you think. If you missed my playoff series, where I did a 6-part series breaking down my top 5 contenders, and then I also revealed who I think was going to win the 2020 NBA Championship, go ahead and click the box right here. If you haven't subscribed, make sure that you click the logo up top. Listen, until next time, make sure that you stay safe in the streets, and remember, we still want justice for the cops who killed Breonna Taylor. Peace.